Why are the people of Ashraf being treated like this? Is it because of a supposed military history? And there is military history here. I have been to Ashraf. But that was a long time ago. Is it because of the ties with Iran? Where did Maliki live? Under Saddam, he lived in Iran. So that makes it more, the more people they move into liberty, the more of a prison environment it is. And I got to tell you, well, what they have been doing in Ashraf is also a crime. I have personal contact, phone contact, on a regular basis with my friends in Ashraf. I talk to them every month by phone. And I get emails every day. I know what happens. I saw the video that you saw here earlier, right after it happened. I know the people that were killed. And what they did in Ashraf and what they continue to do in Ashraf is wrong. Just as it's wrong to move them into liberty now. My time in Ashraf, I worked with the UN, although they were afraid to come to Ashraf. They called Ashraf refugee camp a UN refugee camp. I didn't see any UN in my camp. They would not come. They did it by video. I did not see many Red Cross come into Ashraf until it was safe for them to come there. Where are they now? They are not in Ashraf. They are not in liberty. They are outside liberty. They are not in Ashraf. Where is the International Red Cross? The people that were so willing to take and repatriate people back to Iran are not present and did not stay. I tried to get them to put a base inside Ashraf before we left. They wouldn't do it. Where is UNAMI or any of these other organizations that claim that they can help these people? We need them to be present to help the situation. When I lived in Ashraf, I was adjacent to the city of Ashraf, and I frequently toured the city and spoke with the residents and visiting families. I still have my notes about the children and the families of how they felt about their relatives over in Ashraf and the torture that their families had endured because of their family members. Everybody I spoke to in Ashraf said they were there because they wanted to be there. I've had family members come to the gates and say, my child is being held against her will, Mustafa. And he stayed at that gate day after day. And every time I would go in and I would talk to her, you sure you want to stay here? And she would say yes. People of Ashraf did surrender and got protected person status. And they continued to live the same way they had lived. They had military uniform. To me, their lifestyle, their regimentation, was the only way they could survive. Can you imagine being held or being in a camp 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, with an Iraqi army outside, Iraqi police ready to arrest you, the Quds Force dropping rockets in on us on a regular basis? You had to have some regimentation in order for that group to survive. They're heroes, and they should be heroes to all of you. Anybody that calls Ashraf today a paramilitary base, to me, is very insinuatory. And it demonstrates an insensitivity to the plight of the residents of Ashraf. So where do we stand today? What must we do to ensure the protection and relocation of the citizens of Ashraf? As we all know, and have heard many times in the speeches today, there are approximately 1,200 residents that have been moved to liberty. And we know of one fatality so far. The conditions of the camp are unbearable. The Iraqi police have installed the cameras, and they've got their police uniforms with their SWAT teams throughout the camp. There is no clear plan by the Iraqi government to move them anywhere, even though Mrs. Rajavi has discussed moving them to Jordan, in the area of Jordan. The Iraqi government is not willing to support this. The residents no longer even have the tools to take care of themselves. Bottom line, Camp Liberty is a prison. It is not a refugee camp. Therefore, the move of the Ashraf residents to Liberty, to me, is the stupidest thing in the world. Why not bring the UN to Ashraf? Why move the people to Baghdad to put them in a prison? Let the UN go to Ashraf. But first, we must get the State Department of the United States to take the MEK off the terrorist list. Second of all, the lack of movement by any of the residents of Ashraf into Liberty has no bearing on whether or not they should be on the MEK should be on the terrorist list or not. It's a separate issue. The UN has to establish a satellite office inside Liberty. They must have an office also inside Ashraf to protect the people of Ashraf. No additional movement should be done until some of these issues are settled. Teams of human rights inspectors should also be present to make sure that the conditions that the people are living in are up to standards. Thank you for your time. The citizens of Ashraf must be a priority for all of us in this room. Finally, the people of Ashraf have suffered enough. Now is the time for them to be freed from their tasks that they have done for so many years. I am willing to travel to Ashraf at any time. We need some help.